Captain Obvious, thank you for the 4 months. I appreciate the third of a year. Welcome back. All right, Jeskai Tempo. So, a variety of Jeskai Tempo decks with Stoneforge Mystic in them did well at the last round of Moto tournaments. I wasn't a huge fan of Stoneforge Mystic in this archetype the last time we played it. It felt a little bit clunky, and I didn't feel like it was really solving problems that we had. So I'm not confident in not playing it being correct, but I think for today at least I'm going to play it without. So we're going to go ahead and dive on into a league here and see how this one goes. Hey, Pimped Up Monk, thank you for the 29 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, so I think the position you're taking there is kind of silly, spreading seeds. Like, trying to say Snapcaster Mage is strictly better than Stoneforge Mystic is kind of nonsense, because it's not an either or. Like, the cards you're cutting to fit in Stoneforge Mystic are not Snapcaster Mage. You play 4 snaps alongside your Stoneforge Mystics. Hey, H for the field. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me around. Stoneforge Mystic is more often a 2-for-1, right? Not really. Snapcaster Mage is generally a 2-for-1. And Stoneforge Mystic has diminishing returns as the game goes long, because you're frequently going to get to a point where you're like drawing Stoneforge Mystics that don't have equipment left. It's something that I've definitely experienced. This hand's a little speculative. Opt is not quite Brainstorm or Ponder. Another 3-drop. Yikes. Deck plays 24 lands and we're on the draw, so we've got 4 shots at drawing our second land. We have 5 shots to find 2 lands. Unban Ponder. Please no. Please, how about we didn't? I think Spreading Seas is great. I also think Burn's one of the best decks in the format right now, though, so you probably wouldn't catch me. You don't... If I'm playing Red-White, I think playing less than 4... If you're playing Red-White, I think playing less than 4 Helix right now is probably pretty wrong. Yes, as you will. Full house. Queller Teferi full. Queller's plus Teferi full. And actually, one of the reasons why... I know this hand is like a little bit of a medium keep, but one of the reasons overall why I'm leaning towards playing the blue-red deck as opposed to this one is the average converted mana cost of the blue-red deck is much lower. It's a deck that's a lot more trim overall. Which is nice. That's true. They have hammered their health total a lot. And, like, if I hit this third land, they get to start Spell Quellering them. Like, these are evasive creatures. I'm actually going to leave this untapped so I could draw a path here in addition to a land. It's not even that those cards are too powerful, Be Rich. I think cards I think cards like Ponder and Brainstorm and Preordain should remain banned for a lot of the same reasons that Punishing Fire and Umezawa's GT should remain banned, in that the types of play patterns that they produce tend to be redundant to the point of being very tedious. Like, even if they're not ultimately too powerful, the types of gameplay they generate isn't really enjoyable on average a lot of the time. And don't get me wrong, and this is the part where, like, people poke their hand up and say, well, Jeff, I love casting cantrips. There's definitely people out there that do, but I think overall, a lot of us are playing games like Magic for the variety of the gameplay that's possible in it. And those types of cards reduce that variety. Are we dead? Yep. So that happened. It was a Become Immense and a Teamer Battle Rage for those not paying attention. So they are almost certainly a Death Shadow deck. I don't think I want these Spell Pierces or these Vetoes. I definitely want Path to Exile, Detention Sphere, Celestial Purge. I think that's all I want here. The rest of this seems fine. Having some burn spells to clean them out once they hammer their life total a little bit. Yeah, we played Stoneforge the last time we played this Jeskai Tempo deck, and I was kind of underwhelmed by it. You think Force is good? I don't think Force is actually that good. I think post-board, a lot of the times, those decks tend to board out their getcha cards and try to grind a little bit more in these matchups because they know we're going to have more removal and we're going to be more aware of what they're doing. So I think boarding cards like that, like this is basically a kill all the things matchup. And ideally, I'd rather keep their stuff off the table rather than trying to, like, interact with their pump spells. Yeah, but, like, what is Force better than what's currently in my deck? Am I, like, trimming a cantrip? Am I trimming, like, Spell Pierce is good against those same things and, like, also can stop their discard spells? I'd buy it's better than a Helix. It's probably fine. Helix randomly killing them is a real thing, though. Ashiok hits Fish and Goyf. Not really. Ashiok only exiles one graveyard, and there's going to be plenty of card types in just my graveyard to make Goyf scary. Ashiok's very slow at keeping a Gurmag Angler off the table, and they're probably not playing Gurmag Angler if they're playing Become Immense anyways. And again, the ideal situation to be in is we're not really worried about Become Immense because we'll be keeping their threats clear. One of the things that's kind of cute about playing this deck like this is I bet a lot of people are going to board in Stoneforge Mystic Hate against us just by the virtue of us playing Jeskai. Yeah, the curve in this deck is chunky, and you have to remember too, like, Snapcaster Mage is in the 2 slot. Snapcaster Mage is, like, actually a 3 or 4 mana spell most of the time. Now, it is possible that we should just have, like, a 25th land because of how often we want to curve to 3. I could see that. Like, maybe the 4th opt is better off just being, like, another utility land. I could play, like, a 3rd field. Field of Runes is, like, a pretty genuinely good Magic card. So, like, playing, or, like, a cycle land. I could play a Fiery Isle. I could see that. An Isle seems reasonable. Oh, they have little creatures too. The fact that they're on things like Swift Spear makes Lightning Helix a lot better. I wonder if they're on a wild Nacuddle build. I feel like Swift Spear kind of implies Nacuddle. If that's the case, I definitely want my 4th Helix for the next game. Yeah, it could be like Shadow Zoo. It's a good observation. We're in a pretty good spot here. We get to play Teferi, Hero of Hearthstone next turn and like bounce their 2-drop here. Well, Ashiok doesn't stop them from searching their deck for our Field of Ruin. Is important to note. It does, Ashiok does prevent them from recovering as well as they might be able to. They can't recover quite as well, but it is worth noting that they still get to search their deck from our Field of Ruins. Unsurprised to see Path go away there. Spell Pierce A. Yeah, I was going to play Teferi and plus him here. I don't know that I really need to hold up Spell Pierce on an empty board. If they have like a Liliana the Last Hope, I'm a little bit sad that I don't hold up Spell Pierce here, but... Daily reminder that Pierce is better than Fluster Shard in every format. It's better in most formats. Yep. Do you have 2 of them? Alright, let's draw a Bolt or a Helix here, or a Snapcaster Mage to kill this. Path would also be okay. Yeah, Spell Queller's not the worst. How did Delver go this morning? We've not played Delver yet. It's going to be the next deck we play. Shock in this land. It's not that I have a play, I just misclicked opponent. If this was on Arena, we would emote oops here. That's true. That's true. We do have emotes turned off. Fair. Fair. Well, they're going to get to kill Teferi here, right? So, hopefully they can't kill the Spell Queller. I am going to Spell Queller Tarmogoyf or whatever other play they make. And we're going to hope that we get to untap, play this other Teferi, bounce the Spell Queller. We're ignoring 3 free, deal. Would you like to kill my Spell Queller? Deal. Wonder if they're not familiar with this interaction. So for those that aren't familiar with this interaction, while 3-mana Teferi is in play, they can't recast their spell that was under Spell Queller. And the reason for that is... The reason for this is because... Teferi doesn't let you cast spells when the stack's not empty, and Spell Queller's trigger is on the stack. And generally, Spell Queller's trigger lets you ignore that timing restriction, but Teferi says you cannot. And whenever a no and a yes meet in Magic, the no always wins. No means no. Snapcaster Mage. Vendilion Clique. Vendilion Clique could be a Snapcaster Mage. Now, the nice thing about Teferi here is if they have Temur Battle Rage, they have to do it preemptively. So I'm going to click myself here and put this Spell Pierce on the bottom. And then hopefully draw Snapcaster Mage or Path to Exile the Shadow. I appreciate the silent vids. Thanks to you uploading your silent vids, I can appreciate your commentary even better now. Yeah, there's a lot of downtime. If you're someone that's looking for the highlights from those silent vids, the Humans match and the Bluetron matchup both had incredibly good games of Magic. Yeah, if we click ourselves into a bolt, we also just kill them, which is great. So I'm going to click leaving up double red. Also, like, because they didn't team or battle rage pre-combat, I'm just going to go to 7 here, and then we'll end step click, and as long as Teferi's in play, they can't kill the click, and then click plus Helix kills them. Three power flying threats are busted. They are on a Wild Nikado build, so I'm going to want my last Helix in for the last game, so they're dead. Hey, Frozen Shark, thanks for continuing that sub gift during September here. I appreciate that. If you're one of the many folks here who's been gifted a very generous sub gift, you can continue that sub between now and September 24th for just $2.50. So all new subs are half off till the 24th. Well, I appreciate it, Frozen Shark. Thanks for sticking around. Welcome back to Hoaglandia. Be sure to pop on into the subs Discord if you're not in there already. Fetch shock in response. Deal. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. Maybe I'll just trim an opt on the draw. I'm just gonna trim an opt on the draw. Card's a little slow and clunky. Maybe Spell Pierce is supposed to come out here. Maybe that's actually the cut. Maybe it's actually Spell Pierce. Just want like as many cards that play to the board or get me to cards that play to the board as possible. Remember when Nikado was good? I actually don't. Was there a time in Modern where Nikado was actually good? Used to be good in Burn. That's fair. That's fair. Nactyl Burn was a thing for a long while. You're right. You're right. I forgot about that one. Nactyl Burn was a real thing because of I played a Tarkus Command 2 for the Green Splash, right? Nimble Mongoose is not a playable Magic card. It's not playable. Hot take. Nimble Mongoose is not playable currently in any format of Magic. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this. It has 3 lands, but it doesn't have double blue. It doesn't have Bolt Helix or Path. If I find a Bolt Helix or Path, Snapcaster Mage is pretty good with it, but I think I can do better at 6 on average. This hand's fine. Not good, but fine. Would love a Path in this matchup, but thought it was decent in Pauper. I guess I don't know Pauper. If Nimble Mongoose is decent in Pauper, I apologize. I apologize to Nimble Mongoose if it is Pauper playable. Remember when Canadian Threshold played multiple Threshold cards? It was called Canadian Threshold for a reason. You called it Canadian Threshold because it had Werebear in it? My boy Werebear. They massacred my boy. I'd like to helix your friend. Faith Shield. Modern staple Faith Shield. Protection from the color of your choice. You have 5 life or less, everything gets protection. It is incredibly rude. Life comes at you fast sometimes, chat. Faith Shield. If you're going to get got, that's the way I want to get got, right? Yeah, today's all modern because of the arena downtime. The historically not great updates. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and helix this. Alright, step 1, didn't get mutagenic growth. Fist bumped. Yeah, like, mutagenic growth gets us regardless of which one we try and kill there, so I might as well just try and kill the one that I want dead. Why do you have to be so mean, Burgle? Why do you have to be so mean? Wish me ill. We're going to 9. So, I think I'm gonna snap Helix now. So that way I don't get, like, savaged by a Become Immense. And then we'll probably try and chump block the Death Shadow and then untap Teferi bounce it, assuming they don't have another threat. Yeah, that's probably a Planeswalker deck, Garrick. The power level on that Garrick card is really terrible. So I'm not surprised it's not an actual card in the set. For people who need constant spoiler updates, Mythic spoilers like the fastest around. We are not doing any standard today. Arena's having downtime this morning. And they tweeted that they were blocking out a 3-hour window for downtime. Yeah, so the 2-part cards, when you cast the sorcery, or instant part of the card gets exiled upon resolution, and then you can cast the creature from exile. I believe you can cast just the creature from your hand. You don't have to do it first, the second. Oh, that's a good question. Is this a new card type for Tarmogoyf? Oh, jeez. Helix means they're dead to an untapped land, right? Right? YOLO. YOLO Swaggins. Papi! Papi! That's how these blue-red decks tend to play out against Death Shadow. You're like, buy time, buy time, buy time, burn you out. Burn you out. Upstairs, upstairs. I don't know all the details on the new cards. I'm just repeating what I've had other people repeat to me, which is dangerous. Hopefully we get an official rules update on a WotC site here soon. Yeah, I don't know if it's like tracked with a counter or something. Hopefully get a playable owl card. Wouldn't complain about that. We'll play some owls on stream. Here's an interesting question. This is one we might not know the answer to. So, like, if adventure and equipment are subtypes, why is tribal a supertype? Why isn't tribal a subtype like the others? I'm sure there's a rules reason for that. But why is it? Tribal needs to be a type in order to put creature subtypes on it. Oh, so it has to be a super type in order for it to be able to dictate out other subtypes. Okay, that makes sense. I feel like they could have just worked around that and like said, nah, this is how this works. Oh, super type is different than card type? They could have made it a super type. Sure, yeah, that makes sense. Not my spell pierce. They took my spell pierce, chat. I'll burn this place to the ground. Yep. Things aren't really coming together for our hero, chap. I mean, to be fair, Wrenn and Six is really good in this style of matchup, AGH. I think there's a lot of matchups in Modern where Wrenn and Six tends to be very bad, but this is definitely not one of them. Now, if my opponent manages to lose this game in spite of having turn 2 Wrenn and Six and getting that engine going, they should probably take their deck and throw it in a garbage can because Junda's bad. But this is where Wrenn and Six is supposed to be able to shine. Well, Night Tribal is going to be great inside of Historic. Playing Night Tribal in Historic sounds excellent. Chat should know that I'm 2-0 versus Wrenn and Six emblems with Devoted Druid. Yikes. I spend so much money on Jund, I can't not play it. Fair. Fair, I understand. Playing in matchups like this, in my experience, is a lot like playing against Esper Control with Yarok Field. The match just feels kind of terrible, but sometimes you just like randomly draw burn spells and kill them with burn spells and creature lands. So like, it's not a very fun game of Magic because like you don't really have decisions. You just have to like hope to draw good top decks after they discard your hand a bunch. But it's not unwinnable. It's a better matchup than it feels like. From an emotional perspective, the matchup feels terrible. Huh? I'm just gonna Spreading Seas this. I could hold up Snap Spell Pierce, but Snap Spell Pierce is likely not to be super relevant at this point. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, Drox, it doesn't need to feel like Modern so much, it just needs to be something new. And I bet even the first set of unique cards that they're going to print in November will make it feel like a new format. Do not think it'll likely take long for it to have a very unique feel. This is step one towards stealing a win in this matchup frequently. Drawing a Celestial Colonnade. Step two is drawing some more burn spells. There's no replacement for Teferi, Hero of Hearthstone in this deck. Teferi has a uniquely powerful interaction with Spell Queller. I'm happy it won't feel like Modern. God bless. God bless us, everyone. Is this emblem even good? Instants and sorceries have retrace. So, this emblem isn't even card advantage. It's just card quality improvements. Alright, I'm going to concede when they kill this Colonnade. We had 5 spells that game. One of them got taken by Thoughtseize, another got taken by Inquisition. Oh, did a third get taken by Inquisition too? Yeah, we had 5 spells that game and we cast one of them. I don't really have great tools for this matchup in my sideboard. This is definitely a matchup where having what's it called? Stoneforge Mystic makes things better. Stoneforge is good in all these Mopey Fair matchups, for sure. Peak Modern, really, Jin. Peak Modern. Mid-range in my modern. I got your mid-range right here. Nah, you don't really board cards. So like fair decks don't really board cards like White Ley Line to beat discard spells. It just gives you too many dead draws in the mid game. Because like a fair mirror is gonna go long, and drawing ley lines on like turn 5 and 6 is just too terrible. This hand needs a white source, obviously, but mulliganing against decks full of discard spells just kind of blows, so let's do it. Yep. Never didn't have it. Fetch lands are busted. Yay, Trilands. Ha, nice Black Rabbit. Dull and Night Pack are sweet cards to play with. That's a Tarma Goofy. I have not been a fan of any of the Stoneblade decks I've played really so far. The Vanifear Blade deck that we played felt okay, but it was like nothing to write home about. It wasn't like, oh my god, we broke Modern good. Probably want to Bolt Snap Bolt this, he says before he gets Inquisitioned. Yeah, that's why I've been campaigning for it to be unbanned for years. Because it's not anywhere near too good. The Devoted Blade deck was awful. I've never really been a fan of any of the Devoted Druid decks. Bob's had a lot of success with it, and I'm sure the deck is fine, but every time I play that deck on stream, it's just miserable. The deck sucks to click through on Magic Online in general, and it's just another deck where, like, even when it's good, it's just fine. So, like, if you love it, play it. But, like, if you're not in love with it, it's not like a deck that I'm going to tell you you have to play this deck because it's busted. It's just kind of like, it's another thing you can be doing. I think if your goal is to play to win, you should probably be playing Burn. If your goal is something other than play to win, you can there's like 800 decks you can play. It's a pretty bad K-Command, all things considered. We just don't have really anything to do here, though, so it doesn't really matter that their K-Command is bad. Let's sit here and tread water. Waiting on a path for this Goyf. Yeah, I didn't want to give you. You answered your own question, Dorox. I didn't want to give them a +1. Go ahead and move along to the next one. Playing against Jund in green black just kind of sucks. I think I prefer. I think I'm playing the blue-red deck on Saturday most likely. Unless the next league is like an incredible dumpster fire, I think I prefer its matchups against most things. The Jeskai deck is notably better against burn because it gets to play Lightning Helix, but the resource efficiency perspective of the blue-red deck makes it a lot more appealing. Saturday is a format championship event on MTGO. It's a 9-round modern tournament that the winner gets to qualify for the box. Nah, I don't think I plan to stream. I might record them and put them on YouTube after the fact again, but I don't think I plan to do it live. Yeah, I posted my MCQ games on YouTube yesterday. There isn't any commentary on them, but you can watch 5 of the matches. Nah, I think I'd rather not Rhinograth. The deck's not good. Modern really blows the format when you're just like sitting there getting beat up. So I'm gonna avoid taking things like that. Like the red green Eldrazi deck we played today. I'm not gonna take that deck again. It's just not good. Like, I like playing interesting things, but a lot of the interesting things in this format are pretty bad. That tweet you just linked was deleted, AGH. Maybe it had a typo and he reposted it. We don't know if what's real. Sure, but like, better than something else that's unplayable is not really a bar that I'm interested in clearing. Are there decks that you would revisit off the top of your head that you said you wouldn't, not the format has changed a little? Not really. I meant it when I said the decks that were bad beforehand are still bad. Like, that happens every time there's a big change in Modern. People just think like all of a sudden a big change. People like all of a sudden think like things that are unplayable are just like magically better. It's like, no, those weren't good because they were being held down by something oppressive. They're just not good because they're not a good collection of cards. They're clunky and inefficient and all sorts of other nonsense. All the Faithless Looting Band did was take a bunch of decks that were previously like 10s and 11s and crank them down to like 5s, 6s, and 7s to like back down to reality. I've not, J Riot. They shock something in, so I assume they have like a Dispel or a Spell Pierce here, so here's my no button. Hey, Elemental Whisperer, thanks for the half a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Like, I'm gonna miss sleep. Sometimes the children sleep. You'll just get used to sleeping in small increments. Oh, you know what? I should have sent this bolt at their dome probably there. I'm a little choked on red mana. I would love another Dovin's Veto against their Through the Breach deck. Thank you. Cast another Archmage's Charm so I can Spell Pierce you. Rats. Alright, now cast it Through the Breach with 1 mana up. Bowser Koopa, thank you for the 25 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I assumed they were just going to be split cards, which it would be pretty uninteresting, so I guess I'm glad they didn't do that. Good morning, Marty. Probably by keeping track of it. Spreading seeds. How do they expect people to not cheat? By DQing them and logging it if they do? Yeah, it's kind of a variation on Aftermath, right? I think that's a great way to look at it, right? They're basically Aftermath cards, only you're getting a creature instead of a spell back half. I don't know the answer to that question, Jin. I don't know if it's like when you play the sorcery half, it like exiles with a counter or something on it. Or if you can just like always cast the adventure cards from exile. Yeah. Yeah, we need to introduce the absolutely freaking forever removed from the game zone is what needs to happen. Just so you like have a point of reference for when things are like actually gone. Getting the Path Snapcaster Mage here is pretty great when they're trying to bounce it. Got paid off for taking the hit inside of combat. Definitely exiled and a felt cute, maybe come back into existence later zone, right? Well, that's a stack. Have a land. Our last card being Veto here is like pretty great. I wonder if they're gonna get to a point where they can just hard cast this Emrakul. They have 9 lands currently. Hey, thanks for the 21 months, Karn. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Thanks to everybody for hanging out here today. Our all modern days today. I might do all modern on Friday too. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. See how this next league goes. I think I want to get at least 2 leagues in with blue-red before the weekend. Clique's not a bad pickup. So they're at 10 mana producing lands here. It's 5/5 off of hardcasting Emrakul. They discarded double Emrakul to their Izzet Charm a second ago. They put 2 cards on top of their deck. The sagas, Jin. Yeah, we can click in response. So, like, now the question becomes, they're remanding my click. So here's the question. Do I veto the remand and try and untap and kill them? I feel like it's pretty unlikely that I untap and kill them, right? So I think I just veto this breach. We just let this happen. I think that one's probably not going to be too useful at this point. Yeah, I'm not sure this deck has an appropriate amount of pressure to really leverage Spell Pierce. The rest of my hand sucks, so I'm just going to try and kill them in 2 turns with this Colonnade. Non-land permanent. God bless. They can't take my Colonnade. It's like, can Archmage Charm take my Colonnade here? They bottomed a card with their opt. That's good for us. Dear opponent, please don't kill me. Don't Emrakul me. Emrakul doesn't kill me, but it basically kills me. So please don't Emrakul me. Oh no. All right, we can Spell Pierce it through the breach. Okay. All right. Great, step 1 did not get Cryptic commanded. Oh no, is it gonna get double bolted? Deal. Oh, they bolted themselves. Whew. Whew. I was gonna say, even if they hit the second bolt there, the Spell Pierce was then live, so it's just like the old turn 14 live Spell Pierce. The old turn 14 live Spell Pierce. Alright, so Stroke's great. Force of Negation's great. None of the rest of this is very good, huh? None of the rest of that's very good. Let's click submit. I received a letter that my student loans are being forgiven because of my service disability. Serious question. What do you think about that, Jeff in chat? Well, I'm one of those filthy bleeding heart liberals who thinks most of the student debt should be removed. I think a lot of the student debt in this country was accrued taking advantage of people who didn't realize what they were agreeing to because they were incredibly young. They were encouraged by people that they were supposed to be able to trust to make incredibly bad decisions. I just hate winning, Marty. And I know you say that as a joke, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments on this YouTube video about Stoneforge Mystic. Man who often registers Kiki Jiki claims he hates winning. Yep. Checks out, right? I don't think that's strictly true, Blake and Trusty. Like, I don't think everyone who has student debt it was a mistake for, but I think a lot of it, and like the degree to which they have it is a mistake too. Like, I think a lot of people were encouraged to go to schools that should have been well outside their means, that like they would have been much better off accruing a lot less debt going to a much different school. I fetched Hallowed Fountain because being able to cast Teferi Time Raveler in this matchup is much more important than being able to cast Lightning Bolt. Yeah, so Gunther, I would believe you in that statement, but I also think it's silly to jump from the idea of the way the current loan system is set up is predatory and took advantage of people to all college needs to be free. Like that's inconsistent and stupid. Like, then that's something people frequently do. Like, there's so much middle ground between how higher education in the United States is currently structured today and everything being literally free. Like, there are light years of different things you can do in between those two options, and pretending like those are the only two options is stupid. It's disingenuous. It presents an argument in a really bad way. This is a great game of Hearthstone. You're not wrong. This is a game where, like, if we were playing in paper, I just have my hand face up on the table, just like letting my opponent know they can't win the game. This game is over. You stumbled a little bit. Hey, Salt Block, thanks for the 14 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hey, Cannon Gear, thanks for the 3/4 of a year of support. Welcome back. Yeah, so like, as someone who's definitely like very pro trade school, I think free community college that's the level of education that should be. And community college, honestly, it's kind of an extension of high school anyways. So making that be free makes a lot of sense. Because progress doesn't happen in a day, Davis. This don't let perfect be the enemy of good. While having huge change would be awesome for a lot of people, it's very rare that you're gonna get the actual people to have that happen. So iterating on small things, like take gun violence, for example. Universal background checks. Do those solve everything? Nope. But guess what? They'd be a great step in the right direction. You don't let perfect be the enemy of good. You don't say, this isn't gonna fix everything that's wrong, so it's not worth doing. You go, oh, that's gonna address some of these issues, and in the next iteration, we're gonna address more of these issues. All right, this isn't Trump's Twitter account, Blake and Trusty. The tax rates of most other developed countries aren't drastically different than the United States when you compare what they offer. They really aren't. The big difference is the United States has an absurd military budget that other countries don't endure and take on. So if you want to make claims like, in order to have nice things, we have to tax people through the roof, I'm going to need you to show the receipts, because that's just not true from my understanding. I did not see the Esper Fairy. And like I've said on stream as well a number of times, I think a big part of the higher education reform that needs to happen in this country not only starts with the pricing, but it starts with accepting the idea that not everybody is suited to go to college, and that you're not a failure if you didn't go to college. This idea that, like, if you didn't go to college, you're some kind of screw up or it's the only route to success is nonsense. Perfect, Marty. That'll be up tomorrow, first thing for the standard portion. So spreading Dredge early tends to actually be pretty reasonable a lot of the time. And I assume Shriekhorn means Dredge. So if they don't have that many more lands in their hand, cutting them off of red colors here could be good. Tome Scour. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Whoopsie. Whoopsie poopsie. We did not play Griselbrand today. We played the top 4 decks in the queue. Or the top 3 plus Blue-Red Delver. I'm glad I have Ashiok on my sideboard as some graveyard hate still. If they have a land in their hand, we're going to be a little bit sad. Because they'll get to pick these Bloodghast back up and get this back, but it is what it is. I mean, I've got Spell Queller here. Spell Queller can block these Narco Amiibos, right? Alright, so we're going to shock this in and attack for 2. If they hit a Dakmor salvage, we're in trouble, because that'll let them get the Bloodghast back, so we're hoping they don't find one of those with the Shriek Chord activation. There's also still copies of Creeping Chill in their deck, which are scary. They took a draw step trying to hit a land tier, because we're pretty dead to Bloodghast. So we're actually looking for copies of Lightning Helix at this point, so we can try and avoid getting burned out. Yeah, that's another Shriekhorn. Yup. Yup. Okay. Oh-ho. We're halfway there. Oh-ho. Living on a prayer, take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. They're still looking for their 4th Narco Amoeba or a Dakmor salvage here. Really? They just didn't activate the Shriekhorns? That's so weird. I don't know why. What is the reason to not activate the Shriekhorns there? I can't think of one. Because they knew they were going to get lucky. So I'm going to block here, and then I'm going to Helix this Narco Amoeba. That leaves me at 3. Or 5, sorry, math is hard. We're really kind of lucky. I can't believe they didn't activate these Shriekhorns here, because they should have dug for more prized amalgams. If they'd have dug for more prized amalgams, we probably would have been in trouble here. Yeah, so now we get to shock that in. I should have Helixed this before I shocked, because they could hit a Creeping Chill in response. So I should have Helixed the Prized Amalgam. Oh, I guess now they can hit Narcomoeba and get the Amalgam back? That's awkward. I've been kind of loose here. Yeah, this game 1 that we're currently playing against Dredge, that's a close game 1. This is why Faithless Looting was such a good ban. My opponent's deck is not gone, it just is playing a more reasonable matchup. Like, bans that cripple these decks that are too good, but still allow them to be playable is exactly what you want to be doing. Like, we're sitting here playing, like, an actual game of Magic. It's a great change, yeah. All right, there's an Narcomoeba. Yep. Now I think we're probably dead. There's 3 Helixes coming. There's 3 Amalgams coming. I can't gift any more subs. The top gift cut is 1,000. That is in fact the top one, Marty. Hey, thanks for the $10 tip. I appreciate it. And that's like several lifetimes worth of sub gifts. So, you know, even if you're serious, that's more than appropriate. What am I helixing here? I think I'm helixing the Narcomoeba just because it doesn't come back. Just got a patent bonus at work. Well, thanks for sharing some of it my way, Ninja Turtle Jr. I appreciate the biddies. Welcome. Yeah, I think we're dead at this point. The Creeping Chill's just a little bit too much to overcome. Our Lightning Helix has almost let us slog through here, but too many Creeping Chills, too little time. The chills plus finally hitting the Amalgams. Our Spreading Seas almost got us there. The fact that I kept them off their red spells. Detention Sphere is actually very good in this matchup because it, what's the word that I'm searching for? It can take out all the prize amalgams or like all the blood gas. Hey, 26 lands later. Love the meme. Thanks for the half a year of support. Need 4 more cuts here, theoretically. Can you please explain the thought process behind using Ashiok over Rip? Yeah, since they banned Faithless Looting, there's a lot less decks in this format that you need Graveyard Hate against. So Ashiok is Graveyard Hate that is also relevant in other matchups. So Ashiok's very good against the Primeval Titan decks as well. So because the decks like the opponents are both less powerful and less common, I feel less like I need dedicated Graveyard Hate. Hey, Prof Bob, thanks for the 2/3 year at the very generous tier 3 resub. Welcome back. This is okay. Not amazing, but fine. It's much better than Leonin Arbiter, Lucas. Much, much better than that bad card. Yeah, I agree, Tenorka. I was really happy with my please cast Cathartic Reunion. Please cast Cathartic Reunion. Please cast Cathartic Reunion. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Is that a good one? Ashiok notably also doesn't, Ashiok also doesn't turn off our Snapcaster Mages like Ripwood, which is nice. And Ashiok mills them out, so that way, when they're ready to, like, recover from Ashiok, they don't have as many cards in their deck to do so with. I picked up a couple of gifted subs for people that I have never heard of and don't know what they play. That's interesting. I think the plan is just flash in Spell Queller here to defend the Ashiok inside of combat. Like, I could try and opt and hit a land here, but I think that's greedy. I think I'd rather just, like, guaranteed play my 2-3 and block this Narcomoeba. They get 4 shots at a Dredge creature here. They swung and they missed. I'm pretty confident the blue-red creature land is bad. I think Fairy Conclave and Fiery Isles are ideal. That's fair. Fiery Isle is a very good addition to that archetype, though. I would love a resto. There's no reason to mill them here, right? You could, Loam. Hey, thanks for half a year, Archangel. I appreciate the support. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, we've tried Archmage's Charm and Blue-Red Delver before. It's too much mana. Modern is a fast, brutal, efficient format. 3 mana counterspell is not fast or brutal or efficient. Wizard's Retort at least costs 2 a lot of the time. It's also easier to cast. You can cast it off a Mutavault. I'm actually really excited to try Sphinx today. That's unfortunate. Dredge 3, Dredge 5. Yep, we might. Ashiok might not be good enough here. Yeah, I think we're about to die. I get back 2 Narcomoebas and 3 prized amalgams here. And if they have a land, they get back a couple of Bloodghast too. So a little bit more flexible in matchups than Rip, but obviously worse here. Cathartic Reunion was a good pickup. Or do they not have a land? If they don't have a land, that's really good for us. I'm going to bolt one of these because Ashiok's going to exile it next turn. I'm going to Helix one because Ashiok's going to exile it. They're down to 20 cards in their deck here, which is great. Hey, Frood, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff here on Twitch every month. You're shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me around. Stinkweed, gross. So, Resto can eat this prized amalgam at least. We got that going for us. The issue is that I can't really attack through the Stinkweed Imp, so we're hoping to draw like a Path to Exile for it, or a Detention Sphere. Hey, Willie, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Oh, this actually works out really well. So I get to eat this, and I was assuming they were going to attack Ashiok with everything here, but now, like, this Restoration Angel gets to come in and block this, and then Ashiok's still at 2, so I can have Ashiok exile this amalgam. So this is their... Oh, this is actually their 4th amalgam. We tagged one earlier. And there's 1, 2, 3 Bloodghast gone, and there's 3 Creeping Shells gone, and there's 1 Conflagrate. So we don't actually have to deal with that much more. Detention Sphere would be our best top deck here. Path's not a terrible one. They're down to 14 cards in their deck. I wonder if they can actually... actually kill me here or not from this position. I feel like they might not be able to. I think if they attack this Ashiok with like just 2 Stinkweed Imps here, I'm going to path 1, block the other, and then activate Ashiok and take 4 more cards off their deck. Yeah, it's kind of wild. We've played like a meaningful game of Magic against Dredge. It's really weird. Maybe R&D will listen to me about more stuff now. And the like, ban Moxoplan Ancient Stirrings like I've been asking for 2 years as well. I mean, Modern didn't even rotate. Like, my opponent is literally sitting here still playing Dredge. A bunch of the Faithless Looting decks are still good. Nah, I think banning Faithless Looting makes it a whole new world. If they were worried about hammering value of things, they wouldn't have banned Faithless Looting. Whole new world, a whole new place that's looting free. And the Mox Opals quake in terror and shake, along with the ancient stirrings. Those of us with kids just sprang into song, yep. That was one of your better songs. I appreciate it. Like, I tried, people, okay? Not every lyric that falls out of my mouth can be gold. Here's my other hot take. If the only good reason you have for not banning a Magic card is people paid a lot of money for this Magic card, that's a terrible reason to not ban it. Get it out of my format. Hey, Pancake Snake. Thanks for participating in September and getting that half off brand new sub. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Here's an interesting question. Would Affinity be better, worse, or different if they banned Opal and unbanned artifact lands? Real question. Been lurking around YouTube for a while, and I thought I should do this at some point. Thanks for all the great content over the years. Well, thanks for keeping me around. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Good to have you here. I think it would just be different. Alright, I'm just gonna slowly kill their stuff here. I remember Standard when Ravager and Artifact lands were legal. I was a young boy, those were scary times. Skull Clamp was banned and then they gave us plating. They have never banned a $40+ card in Modern. No, Hagak was really cheap, actually. This hand might have been too mediocre to keep. I think part of GAC's pricing, though, was a lot of people expected it to be... expected it to be banned, so they were. That kept the price down a bit. It wasn't an if, it was a when type thing. Just pop this off upstairs. Would really like to draw a Spell Queller or some kind of threat. Perfect. We talked about how Smash Mouth got a magic card. Wait, like they gave them a card to spoil, or they printed a Smash Mouth magic card? Opponent finally found another Dredge creature here. I started playing Magic 15 years ago, and Infinity wasn't standard. It was a dark time. I mean, but like, people saying things like that, like the artifact lands were too good in standard, you're doing the same type of fear-mongering needlessly that kept Stoneforge Mystic banned for so long, right? I'm gonna go ahead and Spell Queller this. If they have a Cathartic Reading, I'm gonna be a little bit sad, but... stinky. I'd like to purge this one. They announced on the Magic stream that Core Set 2021 will have another Teferi in it. Well, I mean, like, maybe this will be the first Teferi that's not offensive. Maybe. And that's not till next summer, right? So we've got a little bit. Oh, we're getting Return to the Shadows of the battle over Zendikon? Hey, that's a Resto Angel. So if I do this, I'm just going to attack for 2 here. Remember, Restoration Angel's trigger has to target Spell Queller, but it does not have to blink it. I don't think I'm supposed to Detention Sphere here, right? Do I want to D-Sphere a Prized Amalgam? Not really. Avid YouTube watcher, catching a live 1 for 1. Shuffler confirmed broken. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome to our modern day. Currently halfway into our set with Jeskai Tempo. We got some blue-red Delver coming up after this one. Are we halfway? Is this match 4? This is match 4. A little over halfway. Yeah, we could just kill them next turn, right? If their hand is blanks, Brawl is on Arena now. That's kind of big news. Launching Brawl today is big news because everybody's sick of Standard. Should we just play Brawl in our Arena time for the next 3 weeks? That sounds reasonable. Well, we beat Dredge without ever drawing a Graveyard Hate card. That's sweet. I bet it's not best of 3. Yeah, Brawl is Standard Commander. Yeah, it's best of 1. They're currently doing announcements on the main Magic channel. I played Ashiok in Game 2. Game 3, we didn't have a hate card, though. It's Phantom Precons only for Brawl. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Or soft launching it so they can get feedback on it. Yeah, we'll probably try Brawl at some point. We'll see. My Standard submissions were really slow for a while, but we just had a bunch of people submit things, so I mentioned they were slow. So I've got another week's worth of Standard decks at the moment again. So we'll see. If the Standard queue dries up, we'll definitely explore other ideas. They announced upcoming set. Sweet, I guess. I'm not a really big Vorthos person. So like Fairy Tale, Zendikar, Ravnica, like they're all just like rules text. Let me know what the rules text is so we can build sweet things. Flavor Grange, yep, exactly. Oh, was there not a good launch trailer? The War of the Spark launch trailer was so good. Don't make me sad. Brawl cards are 3-1 for wild cards. Confirmed. Hedron Crab. Yikes. Oh, they're milling themselves. Oh. Oh. Ew. Yikes. I thought they banned these graveyard decks, chat. I thought they banned these graveyard decks. Narcomoeba. Hey, Thorbin. Thanks for taking a part of September. Hit me up with that brand new tier 1 sub for half off. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. This is a zombie to let you recast Gravecrawler? That's busted. Memory Sluice with Conspire. Target player puts up 4 cards of their deck into their graveyard. And they get to copy it? That's... Yeah, that's a modern legal card. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Well, I appreciate the support, Thorbin. Their deck is gas. I'm not quite sure what it's doing yet, but it is pure gasoline. We're getting memory sluiced. Or our opponents getting memory sluiced? I'm not 100% sure. And we're getting creeping chilled. Yeah, they're playing like blue-black graveyard stuff. Really want that Lightning Helix back that I bottomed. My opponent just said in chat that they're a sub and they're a fan, so there's probably a good chance you can get their deck list after the match is done. We're very dead here. We're gonna go on to the next one. I think we're just basically boarding the same way we boarded against Dredge, just like Purge, Path, Detention Sphere, Ashiok. They're playing blue-black cards I have to read. And I think it's the same board plan, just like Spell Pierce, Veto, Spreading Seas out. I think I like that. Just mono modern staples. We'll leave a Spreadings. We'll leave Force of Negation. Teferi Time Raveler's probably not very good here. Time Raveler's a little bit better against traditional Dredge because they have a harder time recasting their prized amalgams. This deck was in a 5-0 dump and it had Vengevines. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Teferi's okay against Vengevine. So, I actually think Detention Sphere is probably pretty good in this matchup. Obviously, it's probably worse than having like a more dedicated hit card like Ashiok, but I think D-Sphere is probably pretty reasonable here. Oh, look at that! Magic made a really good decision and has someone streaming on their channel immediately following their big announcement. That's smart. It seems weird to me that they wouldn't pick one of their MPL players that they dumped infinite money into, but anyone streaming's better than them just signing off. It's so weird to me that they don't leverage their hosting other people after their big events, especially the people that they pay dollars to. WotC announced a bunch of, like, future set stuff this morning. I think they said we're going back to Zendikar and Theros. And Brawl had a soft release on Arena today with the update. Glimpse the unthinkable, target themselves. Yep. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and purge the Stitcher supplier here because they milled over 2 Gravecrawlers here, 3 Gravecrawlers, and I don't want them to have a zombie in play. The adventure mechanic seems neat. It's like an extension of the Aftermath mechanic we saw during Amonkhet. Man, Ashiok's like really good in this matchup, huh? Because, like, they're, like, turbo milling themselves. If they hit a zombie, we're going to be pretty dead. We might just be pretty dead regardless. If they trigger the Vengevines, I don't think we're coming back. I'm gonna go ahead and Helix this to stem the bleeding. Innovation, like what the opponent's playing, is just so awesome to see. And again, in my mind, just reinforces how awesome and correct the Faithless Looting ban was. I really hope we see them take risks with banning key pieces like Ancient Stirrings and Mox Opal from other decks to, like, take the decks that are absurd and just dial them back a little bit so we can see some small changes. All right, they finally hit a prized amalgam here. But they only hit 1. So I can bolt this amalgam before they get back to their turn and can recast the Gravecrawlers. I don't believe the adventure ability lets it be castable from exiling from other sources. But they also haven't published a full details of that, so to answer your question, I don't think we know fully is the answer. He said what on Twitter? He said you wouldn't be able to cast if it exiles from something else? That would make sense in my mind. If they have a black source here, we're probably dead. If they had a black source there, they would be able to cast Gravecrawler and flip Vengevines back. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and click this Resto out of my hand because I need to find a way to kill this prized amalgam to prevent them from getting Gravecrawlers back. Because if they get Gravecrawlers back, they get Vengevines, and then we die. So, Ashiok or removal spell. I think I'm supposed to bottom this because if I hit Lightning Helix or Ashiok, I can't cast it because of these Field of Runes. Yeah, we're dead. The deck's really sweet. Someone said that someone just linked it in chat. Self-mill aggro seems really neat. Hit the 3-2 with Jeskai tempo. I think this deck's fine. I think overall it's probably a little bit too clunky. Modern's still a pretty fast and brutal format, and this deck just has so many like 3 and 4 mana spells in it. And one of the things that I think is important to mention, when you look at this curve visually is a little bit deceptive. Because Snapcaster Mage in reality is like a 3 or a 4 most of the time. So like, when you look at the deck like this, it's even clunkier than it looks at a glance when it's initially laid out. So I think I'm going to focus on the Blue-Red Delver deck for the Chip Format Championship on Friday, or on Saturday, just because it's a little bit more trim. Let's dive into a league with that one. Hey, good